Okay, so today we're doing 7th grade math unit 1 lesson 3. You guys had your warm-up. If you guys didn't do this already or if you were absent, please look at the warm-up and decide which one does not belong. Okay. Thank you. So, you guys had an opportunity to write in your notebook, and hopefully you guys wrote in your notes nice and neatly which one doesn't belong and why. Everybody did this. Show thumbs. Because remember, you're getting graded on this. Go ahead and talk to your table mates and decide and discuss what your option was. Go. All right. Who chose A? Nobody in this class chose A, huh? Why? Oh, remember we're scaling, right? Did anything change here? Nothing changed, so it's not scaled at all. It's just a what, ladies and gentlemen? It's a what? It's a copy. Are these other ones copies? No, they changed in some way, right? How many people picked B? Nobody picked B in here? Okay. How many picked C? Ooh, okay. Show of hands. Shailene, why?
The bigger square is slanted or at an angle, while the smaller one is a regular square.
So the shape what, ladies and gentlemen? Does the shape change form when we scale it up or down, ladies and gentlemen? The shape stays the same, right? It just becomes bigger or smaller. This is a what, ladies and gentlemen? By the looks of it, we can assume it's a what? Are we good? This is a what, ladies and gentlemen? It is a parallelogram, but technically it's a what? Rhombus. This is what we talked about. This is a rhombus. So yeah, they became two completely different shapes. What about D? Did anybody pick D? So it looks like B and D were not popular, huh? Okay. So here's what we're going to do on page 26. On page 26, you have some shapes, okay? You're going to have to either choose the rows. I don't know why the diamond is here because the diamond's not on your page. You're going to pick one of these 3 shapes and you're going to try to scale it out. You're going to draw the rest of it. You guys can pick one figure. You're not going to do all 3 unless you really want to. But you already have basically a sentence stem there for you. They already started changing it for you, right? So in there, it says you're going to make a scaled copy. Complete the scaled copy of the figure you choose. Use a scale factor of 2. What does that mean? What's a scale factor of 2? Can you raise your hand and tell me what's happening to your shape? It's being what? If the scale factor is 2, it's being doubled. We're multiplying every dimension by, ladies and gentlemen, 2. So they already started. If you guys see the rows, the stem and the bottom of the rows are already done for you. With the whale, we have the front face of it and an eye. We don't have the smile yet. I don't know if that thing goes all the way down to the bottom or not. You guys can check with your scalings. And then the bee literally just has its face and the eye. So you guys are going to complete the scale. Go. Remember, since we're not doing the activity with our devices today, you guys can still do this on your own time. Just want to see how close. I already know that's bad, but I want to see how close I am to it. Ooh, I was way off. On page 26, it asks you what might help you make a more accurate scale drawing, right? Because it tells you it's a scaled factor of 2, but you don't know the dimensions, do you? I just try to draw it on sight, and let's look. This is me just visually trying it, and I was way off. So For question 4, what might help you actually draw an accurate copy? What do you guys think? Talk with your groups. While you're still drawing, what do you think would help you make an actual accurate scale? So let's have that discussion. What could help you guys be able to draw this? Like, yeah, I was way off. What do you think could have helped me? What could help you guys to actually do a completely scaled, correct copy? Talk to your groups. What would help? What's up? Oh, yep. Quickly. All right. Who wants to volunteer? Remember, you guys want to get your participation points. What's something that could have helped? Okay. So we could have unit grids, right? Because we can count units. What else could have helped? Actual measurements. How would that have helped us? Okay, let's follow up. Would that really have helped us? What else would we have needed for the measurements? Maybe a what? Maybe a ruler. Heck, I probably could have done this with a ruler by myself, right? I could have measured these and then known how to double it. That could have helped. Anybody else have any ideas what could have helped? No other ideas? Okay. Kind of the same as the grid, right? So something that would indicate measurement, right? So with the unit grid, if you look on page 27, you have the same shapes there, but now you can actually count how many units, right? And if you actually have to double it, because it said scale factor of what, ladies and gentlemen? 2, then you know you need to double it. So let's look at the rows on page 27. How many units is it from the bottom? And remember, just because it bends here doesn't mean, so the whole bottom was how many units? So I'm looking from right here. It won't let me draw. I don't know why it won't let me draw. 4 units, okay? Because it starts right here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So over here on my new scaled copy, how long should this line be? 8. But did it cover? It only covered how many units, ladies and gentlemen? Down here, these 2. How many did this line cover? So how long should it cover? So here's my straight line here. And this is where the bend has to happen, right? How many did this bend take over? How many units did this bend take? So how many units should my new bend take? So it should be about there, right? So we have the beginning of the bottom. And they already did the stem for us, right? Let's just double check it. How long is this stem? 1, 2, 3, 4 units. Is this one 8 units? It is. So they already doubled their stem for us. So from here on out, we just need to double everything. How tall is it from the bend up? Ladies and gentlemen, how many units is right here? 3. So how many should I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the bend. And then I can just go across and just make sure that it's the same. It's not a great straight line, so I'm going to erase this because there is a tool on this that'll help me make a straight line. It's this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're good. And then 6. And then we'd have to do the rest of this, right? How many units does this curve line go through? So how many do I need to go through? Because we need to double it, right? This goes through 1, so this should go through 2 as well. That was terrible. Let me undo that. No, it wasn't much better, but it is what it is. All right. Let's see how close we are. I know it's not perfect, but way closer than the other one, right? So the grids definitely help. Measurements will help. So go ahead and on page 27, scale the 3 of them. Actually, for now, choose one of them. Choose the one that you chose on page 26. Later on, try to do all of them. Double it, and then explain in question 6 why it was so much easier to do it with this. In your own words, what made it so much easier? It should be about 2 to 3 sentences for that answer. So hopefully you guys all had a chance to answer on page 26 and 27. Remember, that is part of your notes. Since you guys did the scaled copy on page 26 and the scaled copy on 27, ladies and gentlemen, which one was easier to do? Ladies and gentlemen? So why did the grid help so much? You can raise your hand and tell me. Jaden.
I was able to count the units and double it.
Okay. Anybody else? What did the grid provide you guys besides the count? Okay. Was it easier to draw straight lines on the grid? Yeah, because you guys saw my other one. Yeah, because look how close I am on this one. And good Lord, way off. I had no guidance there. So the grid provided stability. It provided some straight lines. It provided measurements. So a lot easier when you know what you're working with, right? All right, let's go ahead and turn to page 28, please. On page 28, they want you to choose a scale factor of 0.5, which means what, ladies and gentlemen? What's a scale factor of 0.5? If I multiply something by 0.5, it's the same thing as it being what? Nobody knows if I multiply something by 0.5? It's what? It's 1/2, or it's being divided by, ladies and gentlemen? When I want to take half of something, I divide it by 2. So the scale factor is divided by 2 or multiplied by 0.5. So they want you to half it, and then they want you to do a scale factor of 1.5, which means you're multiplying it by 1.5. You guys are probably going to want calculators for this, so just a heads up. You have scientific calculators back there that you may use. Some of them may not be in the correct mode. I'm in the process of getting rid of those and getting just plain calculators. You also have plain calculators sitting over here in a clear tub. There's not enough for everybody, so I would say one person from each group grab a calculator so you guys can share with each other. Because remember, when you scale factor 1.5, you're definitely going to want to multiply unless you can do that math in your head. Okay? So, with your group, not individually, one person in each group, go ahead and grab a calculator, please, from over here so you guys can share with your group. You guys are going to draw out the shapes for 0.5 and for 1.5. And then when you're done, you're going to give me a thumbs up so we can move on to the next part. Go. Move on. So I'm not going to go over the half one with you because you guys should be able to half all these numbers, correct? So what we're going to work on is 1.5, okay? What you guys should have done was calculate the original measurements and then multiply it by 1.5 to see what the new measurement is, right? So who knows what the base of this shape is? What's the length of the base of this shape? First of all, what shape is this, ladies and gentlemen? It's a trapezoid. What's the base of the trapezoid? Meaning the bottom line of it. What's the length of it? It's not 6. Nope. Oh.
Wait, what's happening?
We didn't say that.
Oh.
What is the length of this base?
6 units.
Thank you. 6 units. Because remember, we are on a grid. We have to include the measurement. So if this is 6 units, to scale it up 1.5, we multiply 6 by what, ladies and gentlemen? 1.5. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab my calculator and I'm going to do 6 times 1.5, which gives me 9. The new scale length is 9. So they already drew a line here. I'm just going to count to make sure it's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they did draw our bottom line for us, which is good. But now we have to do every measurement. How long is this side here? Oh, we just went over this. 4 units. So, calculator again. I'm going to clear the calculator. 4 times 1.5 would give me what, ladies and gentlemen? So, my new scale side is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, what about this top length here? It was what, ladies and gentlemen? So, I do 2 times, ladies and gentlemen. Since that's the scale, it gives me 3. So I'm going to go 3 units. 1, 2, 3. And then if I really want to, I can literally just do this because that's all that's left. That did not look great. Can I do an undo? Nope, I can't undo it. I have to erase it. So I could literally just do this because there it is. But I mean, I can also count 1, 2, 3, 4 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 times 1.5 should be 6, right? It is 6. So let's check my sketch. I feel like that top line is slanted a little bit, but hey, it was right there. So now you guys know what the scale unit or what the scale factor is. Okay. So for question number 8, the book says, here's one student's sketch. Sasha thinks the student used a scale factor of 2. Randy thinks the student used a scale factor of 1.5. Who is correct? Explain your thinking. So let's look at the original. The original has measurements of 6 and 4 for the bottom and the side, right? Then it goes 9 to 8. Ladies and gentlemen, let's look from 6 to 9. What happened from 6 to 9? What was the scale factor there? How can we figure out what the scale factor is? If it went from 6 and then it changed to 9, how can I figure out what it was multiplied by? We went over this yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. I take what? I take the 9 and divide it by 6. Take the new one. So the scale factor there was 1.5, right? Bless you. But I look at the side length. The original was 4 and the new one was 8, right? What did I multiply 4 by to get to 8? 2. So can one length have a scale factor of a different... Can two sides have a different scale factor? Because the bottom went 1.5 and then this went 1.5 and this went 2. So the correct answer is what, ladies and gentlemen? Neither. And you're going to explain why. So in your notes, you're going to explain why these are not scaled at all. This is not a scaled shape. Put it in your own words. Again, it's not scaled because the two sides are scaled differently, right? And for a shape to be fully scaled, everything needs to be scaled the same. Okay, so while you guys are working on that, for this example 10, this one's not one you guys are going to do in your notes. Please try to make sure you take time today, specifically, hint, hint, wink, wink, during AMP, to do the synthesis on this one. Draw a scaled copy. Again, it doesn't tell you what to scale it up to, right? So you get to scale it up to whatever you want or scale it down to whatever you want. But you'll be playing on this and then submitting it. You're going to hit share with class so I can see it. That's your exit ticket for today. Okay? And if you're watching this video because you were absent, please make sure that you are doing this on the website. While you guys are still answering, we're going to go ahead and do the summary. So again, in summation of this lesson, to create a scaled copy, we multiply all the side lengths in a shape by the same scale factor. That means if the shape is being doubled, we are multiplying it all by 2. If the shape is being downscaled, we can divide by 2, or, as we learned today, instead of dividing by 2, we can multiply by what, ladies and gentlemen? 0.5. It won't let me write it on there because I'm off the page. So remember, a scale factor, again, means all dimensions are going to be multiplied by that same number to change the shape. We change the shape bigger or smaller. We do not change the shape to where it becomes a new shape. So in this example here where it says not scaled, this went from a square to a what, ladies and gentlemen? Rhombus. Not scaled. The shape should not change other than its dimensions. Its size. The shape itself should still be a square. Understood? So again, in summation, a scaled copy, we just take its measurements and we multiply it by the same number all around to change it up or to change it down. So, review. We started on page 25. On page 25, the expectations for your notes were to pick which one doesn't belong. If you guys want to review with me, you guys can turn back so you guys can make sure you have everything, because I want to make sure I set the expectations clearly for the notes. So on page 25, your first and last name should be on the top page, because that is the beginning of your notes. You should have picked which one does not belong, A, B, C, or D, and then written an explanation at the bottom of your page why you chose that one that doesn't belong. Why doesn't it belong? On page 26, you guys were to choose one of the shapes and try to recreate it, scale it up without any units, without any measurements. You're going to put in question 4, what might help you make a more accurate scaled copy, and you're going to put that in your own words. What would have helped? Ladies and gentlemen, let's review. What did we talk about? What would have helped us do this? Mikey, remind us. A ruler could help. What else could help? You guys put them down. What else could have helped? I have no idea what you just said. Counting. If we had an actual grid, we could have counted units. Dotted lines. Anybody else? Okay. On page 27, you were to pick one of them, but you're going to go back and do all of them later. You were to pick the one that you'd picked originally and draw the scaled copy with the units. You are responsible for making sure all 3 of them are done before I check your notes. Then at the bottom on page 27 for question 6, explain the strategy that you used to draw the new scale copy. How did having the unit grid help, basically? On page 28, you guys were to scale this to 0.5 and a 1.5. Just draw them. You guys should have done that with your group. On question 8, you would have explained why it was neither. We said it was neither. You would have explained because the 2 sides were not scaled to the same factor. You would have written a little explanation there why this was neither. On page 10 or page 29, number 10, you guys are doing that where, ladies and gentlemen? On your device. So you can literally write on 10, on device. So on 10, write on device in your notes because you're submitting that. That is part of your participation. So if you do not go back and do that during AMP, you will be losing points. And then question 13 there, you guys are explaining. Actually, let's see. Yeah, 13 we didn't have to do. All right. Remember, you guys are going to be working on questions 1 through 13 for this lesson today, or tomorrow and Friday will be work days. Let's go ahead and pack up and end the lesson.